Hello, and welcome to another episode of This, That, and the Other. I usually go through my list of shows to do and was going to go to the next one on list, but a thing came up this morning. I guess because the World Series is going on, I was thinking about baseball. And there was a doctor that I went to in Vienna, Dr. Myron Lotz. Some of you people from Vienna might remember him. Anyway, he had told me something about how he played for the Detroit Tigers, and I don't know if he played for the actual team or one of the farm clubs, but anyway, he had told me who the agent was that signed him, and he played with them briefly, but I don't remember the agent's name. But I remember Dr. Lotz, very big man, deep voice, but very kind man. One time when I had chicken pox, he drove over to his office on Saturday to see me. His car was an old beat up VW Bug, I remember. And I used to see him in bargain clothing stores too, bargain hunting for clothes all the time as well. But anyway, I was trying to look up some information on Dr. Lotz's baseball career, and I came across a thing where he was in a relationship with a poet he met her back in Thanksgiving of 1952, named Sylvia Plath. I had never heard of her, but she was born October 27, 1932. She died February 11, 1963. I'm not really going to do the history on her. You can find that on the internet. There's plenty of things about her, but I was going to read some stuff off that I got off of the internet, and excerpts that she wrote about her relationship with Myron Lotz. It says, Myron first appears unnamed in the entry on January 10, 1953. Thanksgiving, I met a man I could want to see again and again. I spent 3 days with him up here at house dance. That was her first entry. She discusses the failures of Dick, her previous boyfriend. If he wants to prove his virile dominance, he grew a mustache and said if he shaved it off because I wanted him to, it would be a sign of weakness and submission. Then she talks about Myron again. What do I see in him? Power, strength. Yes, I admire these qualities. Mentally and physically, he is a giant. I would like to get to know this man. I could give a lot to him. I could perhaps learn what love is. I felt reserves of power, creative good, and strength in me that I have never been consciously aware of. Please, I dream of talking to him again under apple trees at night in the hills of orchards, talking, quoting poetry, and making a good life. Please, I want so badly for the good things to happen. And it's prefaced by, will I ever see him again? Will it work out? I don't know. He next appears over a week later on January 18th. For weeks I've been obsessed by the idea of him, recalling again and again the apparent intellectual companionship indicated by our one meeting. Our few subsequent letters, and she goes on, I thought how hideous it would be if I never saw him again, never got to know him in reality, as I began to know him. I like talking about him, discussing him with other people, a rather obvious sublimation and substitution that, and now suddenly, as if conjured him up, the phone rang on the first floor this morning, and a clear, silk, suave voice said, how's the invalid? I don't know what I said. I screamed inside, gasped, fell into an epileptic froth of ecstasy, mad, insane ecstasy on the floor, all inside. They arranged to meet. I'm going to see you, maybe for once and all. That's up to you. Damn, it's always up to you. And that is all I ask. Sure, I'd like more. If the French women can be bewitching, reclining on a divan, so can I. I will be lonely, vivacious, witty, the best me that I always want to be with you. Damn, oh damn. Every minute passing is all at once unbelievable and doubtful. Century of agony and anticipation. I am not hungry. I am lean, taut, eager. Damn, I want to hoard the time with you like money. Now ahead it lies, 7 hours hence, each hour savoring an exquisite taste of delight. The bell is rung, for Pavlov's dogs, and a salivation has begun. The next afternoon, an exit reported their meeting. I am going to that magnificent event, the JL Junior Prom with him, with the one boy in the whole college I give a damn about. Myron had visited Plath at her dorm. We sat on the trunk in the side hall. He looked clinically serious down at my cast. When will that be off? He said determinedly. Hope flickered. Oh, the first week of February, maybe the second. I mean exactly when. Well, by the middle of February. Still looking down. You think you could dance? Say by March 6th. A great champagne-colored bubble exploded inside me. Sure, why? How amazingly casual of me. Yale Junior Prom would like to dance. Would you like to dance then? Depends on who with. You could dance with Tommy Dorsey. He's playing. He's not tall enough. How about me then? Hesitatingly. Oh, I'd love to, really. But what? He said quickly. But I will. The words bubbled out of me like colored lanterns. Myron leaves. I wandered dazedly through the house, and everybody kept saying, Sylvia, that's wonderful. I'm so glad you're going. One nice thing about living with 100 girls, excitement shared is multiplied 100 times. On Thursday, January 22nd, Plath reports that Myron has written a letter saying unexpectedly that he wanted to see her on mid-semester weekend. She writes in the second person, the very suggestion of being with him so soon is almost unbearable in its intensity of gladness that you are overcome. Myron is described glowingly. You want a brilliant mind that you can stimulate, but that you can also honestly look up to, and this one has it. He combines the loving gentleness of Bob with the athletic good cleanness of John Hall and towers above the minds of them all. Even Dick. Mentally he satisfies, physically he satisfies. It is rather blissful to share witty talk and intelligent letters with a man who is also three-dimensionally satisfactory as this one is. With him, there would be a great, evolving intellectual dignity to life. I am sure of it. I can walk tall and proud beside him in the body and in my mind. How will it work out? I don't know. In 1 year, 2 years, I will look back at the blind alleys I wander in now and smile and think, my, how inevitable this past seems now that once upon a time my very uncertain future. Monday, February 2nd, review of their date. From his telling me about his childhood environment, I can see the origin of his strong drives for success, security, power, or of intelligence, and financial independence. He wants these very hard. Does he need a woman? Seems offhand not, at least for 4 or 5 years. Eventually he seems to want a home and family. Beastly encouraging. In a passage involving Myron's brother Ted, a sudden mention of Myron's baseball prowess. Seems like Ted, envies his kid brother who's going to Yale and is also signing big baseball contracts. And later, at Yale, he has spent minus 200. His scholarship has most of them taken care of everything. He paid $3,000 income tax on his baseball earnings. Who knows, she continues. And then 10 days later, Plath is mad at Myron. Oddly enough, Myron is the first and only boy so far would say yes to if marriage were brought up. She catalogs her gifts. Power, he offers that. I need a strong mate. I do not want to accidentally crush and subdue him like a steamroller as I have Bob, certainly. I must find a strong potential power mate who can counter my vibrant dynamic self, sexual and intellectual. And while camaraderie, I must admire him, respect and admiration must equate with the object of love. Physically, Myron is a Hercules. He excels in baseball, skating, and so on. Myron is lean, hard, and clean, no smoking, no drinking. I think he always will be. I'll stop for a minute. I remember him as my doctor. He was a big man, deep voice. Mentally, he has a photographic memory to all practical purposes, scientific to the core, a good balance, yet he appreciates and understands the most idealistic poetry and is uniquely sensitive to literary beauty. The entries of February 25th to March tell of happy days spent with Myron, and the entry of May 5th seems to be the last entry made on him. And let's see, Myron is only mentioned once more, according to the index, in the entry of March 10th, 1956. Plath writes, "Oh, the fury, why did I even know Ted Hughes, was here? The panther wakes and stalks again, and every sound in the house is his tread on the stair. I wrote a mad girl's love song once in a mad mood like this when Mike didn't come and didn't come. Why did you not come, Myron Lotz?" Myron Lotz is Myron, and Sylvia Plath is Plath, because Plath became famous and deserves the dignity of a last name. Myron does not. And for I'll skip the word's sake, his name's Myron. So interesting writings she had on him. I didn't know anything about that part of his past. When I went to him on appointments, he would talk about various things, but nothing about relationships or anything like that. But quite interesting though. Let's see. I'm trying to find some other thing. Okay, here's an entry too. While she was studying at Smith's College in her home of Massachusetts, one of her early boyfriends, Myron Lotz, inspired the Villanelle Mad Girl's Love Song, which Hughes, in his role as editor, omitted from Plath's collected poems. So she wrote a poem based on him. I think I made you up inside my head, runs a refrain, a line that captures Plath's propensity for projecting her psychological fantasies on to those close to her. So I'm going to go ahead and go to the poem that she wrote, called Mad Girl's Love Song. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I lift my lids and all is born again. I think I made you up inside my head. The stars go waltzing out in blue and red, and arbitrary blackness gallops in. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I dreamed that you bewitched me in bed and sung me moonstruck, kissed me quite insane. I think I made you up inside my head. God topples from the sky, hell's fires fade, exit seraphim and Satan's men. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I fancied you'd return the way you said, but I grow old and I forget your name. I think I made you up inside my head. I should have loved a thunderbird instead. At least when spring comes, they roar back again. I shut my eyes and all the world drops dead. I think I made you up inside my head. So that's the poem that she wrote. It was inspired by him. And I wanted to get look at another thing on her, so on Sylvia Plath, from Wikipedia. Let's wait for this to come up. She was an American poet, novelist, and short story writer born in Boston. She studied at Smith College and Newman College at the University of Cambridge before receiving acclaim as a poet and writer. She married fellow poet Ted Hughes in 1956. They lived together in the United States and then in England. They had two children, Frida and Nicholas. Plath was clinically depressed for most of her adult life. She committed suicide in 1963. So that's what ended up happening to her. Got a picture here of her with Dr. Myron Lotz. It's younger. He definitely didn't look like that when he was my doctor. He was a heavier set man by then. It's just a picture of him when he was, I guess, studying medicine. And wanted to look at one more thing. She thought she had been told, or she believed that he actually played baseball for the Detroit Tigers, but that hasn't been verified, and it may have been one of the farm clubs, or he may have played semi-pro baseball. But like I said, I do remember him mentioning being connected with the Detroit Tigers. And an obituary on Myron Lotz. He died in 1999. It says Mike Lotz, 67, a general internist who had a private practice in Vienna for 19 years until his retirement in 1987. Died of cancer July 11th at Fairfax Hospital. He lived in McLean. Dr. Lotz came to Washington area in 1962 and was a specialist in endocrinology. He was a clinical assistant professor of medicine at Georgetown University from 1968 to 1987. Retirement, he did medical missionary work in Mexico, Central America, and South America. Native of Ohio and zoology graduate of Yale University, where he received a medical degree, cum laude. He studied cellular biology and pathology at Oxford University and interned and served his residency at Massachusetts General Hospital. That's basically the information I have on Dr. Lotz. And like I said, he was my doctor back in the 80s, and a very nice man in there to talk to. And like I said, he was big, but he had a gentle handshake, a gentle touch, and just thought I thought this was an interesting story, and I just thought I'd go ahead and discuss it. And as always, thanks for watching.